Wandy takes the mound with a 4-2 record. His ERA is the second lowest in the National League, 1.90. Corey Hart looks at the heater. There is strike one to Hart. 241, 4 homers, 16 runs batted in, a 327 on base average. Lowered last night by going 0 for 4. He smacks a line drive left center field. Michael Bourne with a jump. 1 out. Now look at Wandy Rodriguez and his numbers, and he is second to Johan Santana in the ERA department.
His home ERA 0.67. That's the best in all of Major League Baseball. It's just when you break down the numbers, it's just incredible what he's done so far this year. Has not allowed a home run yet. Has a slugging average against him of something like 268. That's a slugging average.
Wow. Bill Hall looks at strike one on the outer edge of the plate. Hall, a 259 hitter with 4 homers, has driven in 10 runs. Hall last night was 1 for 4. He had a first inning single off Mike Hampton. And Hall plays third against lefties. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's been losing a little bit of playing time recently against right-handed pitching. Matt Gamble just came up. He's a lefty hitting third baseman. And Craig Counsell, of course, can play that position quite capably as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Hall. But the Brewers are moving right along. They've won 21 of 26. They have a 3-game lead in the NL Central Division. In first place, Ken Maka's club 25 and 14. 7-game winning streak, 13 and 4 in May. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and they've been scoring runs at a good clip. They were held to 4 runs on 6 hits last night, winning at 4-2 and pitching very well with the second best ERA in the National League. It's been quite a nice start for the Brewers. Strike 3. Hall caught looking. 2 outs.
Don't really think Wandy wanted to throw his changeup that high, but Hall lays off of it and Wandy gets the call. And normally you're not thinking about, I'm going to throw that belt high changeup up there.
When things are going well, they continue to go well for a while sometimes. Ryan Braun, though, can turn things around for a pitcher. 323, 8 homers, 29 runs batted in. A very tough out right now. He's 4th best in reaching base in the National League. That's an excellent pitch for strike 1. Braun in last night's game was 0 for 2, but he walked twice and scored twice. Walks really hurt the Astros. They walked 5 in the game, and 3 of those players who drew walks came around to score. 327 lifetime for Braun against the Astros. 32 runs batted in 29 games. No balls, 2 strikes, and it was an adventuresome Ryan Braun on the base paths last night, scoring 4th and 6th inning runs as the Brewers won by 2.
Yeah, he ran through a stop sign. He got hung up between third and home and came out smelling like a rose when Miggy short hopped the throw into Pudge, so he was safe there. And then he scored on a base hit that dropped in front of Hunter Pence. And he took off from second base as soon as that ball was hit. And it was a bit of a high-risk move.
Bouncing the curve. Wandy goes to 1-2 with Prince Fielder on deck. Now Mike Hampton's next start will be determined after he throws a bullpen, probably tomorrow. He had a cut on his left thumb last night and came out after 4 innings of work. He would be due to pitch again on Sunday if he's able to make that next start. That will be against the Texas Rangers. Ripped, but on 1 bounce it goes to Tejada's right, and the throw is stretching Berkman, not in time. Braun beats it for an infield hit. He does run well.
Yeah, Braun, offensively, the complete package. He's patient, he hits for power, and he's got the speed to beat out an infield hit as well. Not many sluggers are going to beat that one out. And it looked like they got the call right.
Delphine Colon is the umpire at first. Braun made that last big stride to get there for Prince Fielder. Fielder last night had an RBI double, 1 for 3 with a walk. There's strike 1 to him. He has walked 35 times this season with a 273 average, 9 homers. 37 runs batted in, is tied for the National League top spot. Little hole there under his hands.
Well, I was just pointing out that .431 on base percentage.
Oh,
a pretty beefy number.
Yes, it is. 1-1. Doug Melvin had an interesting remark about the walks of Prince Fielder and others. We'll get to that in a moment. Fox Sports Houston has a Twitter page. We're tweeting right now, so sign on for additional information and insight at twitter.com/FS Houston. Fielder obviously on a club record pace for walks. 2 balls and a strike. And he said the Brewers haven't had a guy who's walked 100 times in a year. He said, in fact, there were only 4 players in the National League or in the majors last year who walked 100 times compared to 27 players who struck out 100 times or more. And Fielder is on that very rapid pace to draw a lot of bases on balls. The count here is 3-1 on him.
Yeah, and the guys that strike out a lot that also walk a lot, that doesn't hurt you as much as the guys that punch out a lot but hardly ever walk.
Yeah. Fielder's 4 for 15 against Wandy. Second baseman Matsui's on the outfield grass, very deep. Foul back, and it's 3-2 to Prince Fielder. Well, the Brewers are one of those teams, though, and they are working the count, and they drew a ton of walks in that series at St. Louis before this one. Third in the league in walks. So they have put a ton of traffic on the bases. Berkman playing behind Braun. Laced up the middle and into right center field. Braun going first to third on the sharp single by Fielder. And Mike Cameron will bat with runners at the corners and 2 outs.
Yeah, Matsui swinging way over to his left, playing strong pull for Fielder. You see it there, a step or two into the outfield grass, and this ball really hit well by Fielder. Early opportunity for the Brewers. Yeah, they walk a lot, they strike out a lot. They have hitters who are willing to go deep in counts. That's the key, and you know, that's the Yankees years ago had all that success, drawing all those walks. You get starting pitchers out of the game early because of the pitch count.
Mike Cameron looks at ball 1. He took a look at Cameron's numbers, and they include 5 for 15 against Astros pitching this year. He was 0 for 4 last night. Astros made a couple of good plays on him in last night's game. One by Lance Berkman, one by Jeff Blum. It's 2-0 to Cameron. Brewers are 16-7 within the National League Central Division, 9-2 on the road. Strike 2-1, and again a conversation tonight with Doug Melvin, the general manager of the Brewers, provided some perspective on the National League Central with the Brewers atop the division. He said, you know, people forget 4 teams in this division won 86 games or more last year. Bounce to third. Fair ball for Jeff Blum. He makes the long throw to Lance Berkman for out number 3. No runs, 2 hits. A couple of men left on base. A 0 for Wandy Rodriguez. On sounds of the game with the Astros starting lineup.
Hi, I'm Michael Bourne from Houston, Texas, and this is tonight's starting lineup for your Houston Astros. Leading off playing center field, me, myself, Michael Bourne. Batting second, playing second base, Kaz Matsui. Playing first base and batting third, Lance Berkman. Batting fourth, playing left field, is Carlos Lee. Batting fifth, playing right field, is the Hawk, Hunter Pence. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, is Miguel Tejada. Batting seventh, playing third base, is Jeff Blum. Batting eighth and catching is Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. And batting ninth tonight and pitching for us is Wandy Rodriguez.
Nice job by Michael Bourne. He just took a pitch, and now a line shot into right field. And this is the new starting lineup for Cecil Cooper with Michael Bourne leading it off. And there's some immediate result as he lines that hit and improves his .304 batting average and reaches for Matsui.
Ken Maka looks like he's got a different lineup card. And he's going to come out and dispute and see if the Astros are batting out of order here. He waited till Bourne hit. He may have a card that has Matsui first. This happened the other day with Joe Madden. He lost his DH because he had listed both Evan Longoria and it escapes me who the other guy was, but he had 2 third basemen down on his lineup card. And so Andy Sonnenstein, the pitcher, had to bat. And with Matsui leading off every game, or just about every game so far, you can understand where whether it was Coop or Eddie Romero running down that lineup, that they may have slipped up.
They're going to call Michael Bourne back to the plate. And evidently Ken Maka had a point.
Okay, they're going to call Matsui out for batting out of order, and then they're going to make Bourne the hitter.
Yes.
I think is what they're going to do.
The proper batter is out. So if the lineup card was turned in with Matsui leading off, then he's out. And Bourne will bat again as the number 2 hitter.
You're out. He bats again. You're up again.
Very rarely happens in a major league game. Once in a blue moon.
And this would be the situation when you make a lineup change. We take a guy, out of his normal slot, and it's just human error. It's unfortunate. Kaz is now 0 for 1.
Yeah. It's a tough one for him. 0 for 1 without batting.
And now they're going to call the press box to let everybody know the official notification. So now this is one some people are going to want to blow up, and the manager's not doing his homework at the bench. It's just a human error, it's just a mistake. I mean, obviously, you wish it hadn't happened.
The lineup on the scoreboard, which is not the official lineup as far as the cards being presented to the umpires, shows Bourne leading off. The lineup in the press box showed Bourne leading off, but obviously that's not the card that was handed in to the umpires at home plate, or they wouldn't be doing this.
Well, while they settle this out, let's take a look at the Brewers defense, brought to you by BMW. Ryan Braun's in left, Speedy Mike Cameron's in center. Corey Hart can go get him, and he throws well. He's in right. Holland Hardy, man the left side. On the right side, it's Casey McGee. He made his first major league start at second base last night. Prince Fielder anchors the infield over at first. Jason Kendall, the veteran, does the catching. Giovanni Gallardo, the young right-hander, just got a break, and he doesn't need many. He can flat out pitch.
Well, he got a break the last time he pitched Friday at St. Louis. Pitched a couple of innings, gave up a homer and 2 runs, but that was washed out of the books on a rainout. So now Bourne has lost a hit, but he gets another chance. And there's ball 1, and Matsui, of course, lost the at-bat without getting a chance. Lance Berkman on deck as Bourne bats twice in the inning. It's 2 balls, no strikes, and that's the way to do it, the way Ken Maka did. Wait to see what happens, and if the batter reaches base, at that point you challenge it, and the proper batter is out. Proper batter being Matsui. The catcher gets the put out on that first out of the ball game. That's the way the official scorer is announcing it right now. 3 balls and 1 strike. So that's a 2 unassisted on Matsui to open the game. And Bourne draws a walk.
He's having a big inning.
He's been on twice.
You can't get this guy out. That's just Gallardo's sense of fair play. So he earned it. I'm going to give him a freebie. Yeah, now if Michael had made an out, Ken Maka doesn't come out to challenge.
Correct.
Then Matsui comes up hit. Then that becomes a batting order the rest of the game.
Yes.
Once you don't challenge it at that point, then that batting order becomes legal.
That's right. Lance Berkman, the batter. Infield is shifted around, playing him to pull as Bourne draws a throw. Bourne is 13 of 16 in steals. He leads the National League in stolen bases. One reason for this switch, with Bourne supposedly leading off, although it didn't work out that way tonight, is to allow him more chances to run.
Yeah, Matsui, a guy who you want up there taking pitches, allowing Michael Bourne to try to steal, sacrificing, hit and run, all that kind of stuff. And so with Bourne hitting in front of Matsui, that makes all the sense in the world, because when you have Lance Berkman or Carlos Lee hitting, you don't want them focusing on what is Michael Bourn going to do. You just want them looking to drive the ball.
No balls and 2 strikes. And Cecil Cooper said he wanted to take a little bit of pressure off Matsui by dropping him to the number 2 spot. He spoke with Matsui. He spoke with Miguel Tejada, who moves from 5th to 6th, and they were both fine with it. Carlos Lee on deck. Berkman looks at that one, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Lance, who last night was 0 for 3 with a walk.
Gallardo's one of those pitchers that if you were to ask scouts or opposing hitters what's his best pitch, you might get 3 or 4 different answers. He's got a good lively fastball that he can work up above the hands. He's got a real nice curveball. Also a slider and a change.
2-2. Well, the Astros have seen him pitch fabulous baseball in all 3 of his career starts against Houston. He's won all 3 with a 0.75 ERA. At Minute Maid Park, he's 2-0 with a 1.06 earned run average. Gallardo was born in Mexico, grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, and has really moved up quickly. There you see the major league leaders: Carl Crawford of Houston with 25 steals, and Michael Bourn of Houston in 5th place in the major league stolen base race. He's going. Line shot right center. He's going to keep going all the way to home plate to make it 1-0 Houston. Berkman for second. RBI double, Lance Berkman. 22 runs batted in. Bourn scores. And the Astros are on the board first.
Middle number 5 for Lance to go with 8 home runs. Last week or so, he's really been swinging it well. Went down and got what appeared to be an off-speed pitch. Michael Bourn peeking over his right shoulder, sees that ball split the gap, and says, I've got one place to go, and that's homeward bound.
And he's at second for Carlos Lee now. Lee hit a 2-run homer off Gallardo in the game here, which Gallardo won 5-2 on the 24th of April. That was Gallardo's first major league complete game. Carlos on the ground. Olay for Bill Hall. He throws behind. Berkman is safe. Wow. Why did he throw there? That was not a clear-cut play to get Berkman, and went back in. He had the out at first base. He disdained that and tried a gambling play throwing behind Berkman. That is a rare play for a third baseman, even though he was moving in that direction.
Yeah, I just think instincts took over for him. I think as he fields this ball, he sees Lance come off the base, and for whatever reason, thought he had a play on him. And really not that close. You got to go to first base there for Billy Hall.
So now it's Hunter Pence with runners at first and second on a fielder's choice play, allowing Lee to reach. Pence takes a strike. 336, tied for 9th best batting average in the league now. 4 homers, 15 runs batted in, a 408 on base average, and he goes into the 5 spot tonight. He faced Gallardo growing up in North Texas. This move to 5th could give Pence, of course, more RBI opportunities than he was getting in the 6th spot. He looks at that one, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. And both he and Tejada are having good seasons, but this is just something that Cecil Cooper decided to do. He had this kind of a feel for this lineup tonight and wanted to give it a shot. One ball, 2 strikes to Hunter Pence.
Yeah, among the many decisions a manager makes every day over the course of a week or so, who bats 5th and who bats 6th, not a real big deal. I mean, you can pretty much flip a coin every day and throw somebody in there. The job description is pretty much the same.
Ground to third, foul. Go 1 and 2. Hunter Pence is hitting .407 in the month of May. That's 5th best in the National League. His 5th franchise history in both May batting average and on base percentage. There you see the leaders: David Wright, Ryan Zimmerman, Andrew Ramirez, and Carlos Lee are ahead of him.
big fat numbers. My goodness, and David Wright's stealing a bunch of bases too.
Yeah, he is. The Astros have won 6 of their last 9. They're 8-7 in May. Their winning percentage against Milwaukee, .573, their best against any club. Bouncer over the mound, second base. There's one out, and McGee takes care of the double play, 4-3. And the Astros get a run on 1 hit. They leave a man. After 1, it's 1-0 Houston.
Houston Texans teammates. We're out here taking some hacks and raising money for the Greater Houston Boys and Girls Club. And Eric, as defending champion, you came out here on a mission and you did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I got a couple outs, and the whole team did a great job. All 10 guys gave up their time to come out and help the Boys and Girls Club, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, of course, Matt Schaub walked away with the hardware. He won the most money in the 3 rounds. But then, those bonus balls came up. Tell us kind of what our Reliant Energy president said to you and kind of what happened after that.
Well, we had done our thing, and I think they wanted to try to get more money raised, and he said, "I'll give you 1 swing for $20,000." And so I said, "Oh, how about 2 for $10,000 each?" He said, "Okay," and then I ended up hitting both of them out up at Upper Deck, so it was a lot of fun. I think it kind of was a great climax of the whole event.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. But, really the great thing about it, and we mentioned the Boys and Girls Club, all those kids were out here watching that happen. And as fun of an event as this is for you, that's really what it's all about, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a lot of fun for us to come out here and do what these guys do, but at the end of the day, we're helping the kids, and we're helping them, get a step up on life, and helping them build shelters and build everything that they do at the Boys and Girls Club. So that was, ultimately that's what it's all about.
All right. Well, good job today. Crushing blows from you. The Astros themselves were impressed. So nice job.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
We'd put him in a uniform if we could find one big enough and have him pinch hit.
No doubt.
Yeah, that was fun. He put on another show as he did last year. Casey McGee, the batter. Jeff Blum made a good play on J.J. Hardy leading off the inning. Now the count for Wandy Rodriguez, 1-1 on McGee, who's 3 for 18 with 1 RBI since being called up from a sizzling start at AAA this season.
I think Eric could have a pretty good career in that slow pitch softball circuit after his football days are over.
Well, he was telling me he grew up in Midland and he was a baseball player. He was a pitcher, and that was going to be his goal. Then he just kept getting bigger and bigger. And now he's a lineman. Line to the left field corner. And 1 hops the wall. McGee is headed for second base. And in with a double, his first. Hit number 3 for the Brewers.
You see a ball hit on a line like that to left field, and you think, well, Carlos is going to hold him to a single. He's become so adept at playing the carom out there, but this ball heads to the corner, and it becomes an easy double for McGee. But that ball straight away left. Carlos has played perfectly pretty much all year long here. Nearly going just one time after another.
Jason Kendall got a night off last night after getting hit number 2,000 of his career the night before in St. Louis. Mike Rivera did the catching, as he always does when Dave Bush is on the mound. And now Kendall back in the rotation, looking at ball 1 with a .234 average, no homers, 14 runs batted in. He got a single off Kyle Loesch for hit number 2,000 of his career. And he is 8th all time in hits among those who have caught 1,000 games.
When he was with the Pirates, hit at the top of the order, had some years where he hit for a very high average. He's never hit for much power. This year, no home runs and just 4 extra base hits. He's got 3 doubles and a single, but a couple of pretty good resumes right there. Catching tonight, Jason Kendall up over 2,000 hits now, as Brownie mentioned, 8th all time among catchers who've played at least 1,000 games. And Pudge, well, he's the leader of the pack.
Number 2 is Ted Simmons, 3 Carlton Fisk, Yogi Berra, Mike Piazza, Gary Carter, and Johnny Bench. Ahead of Kendall, Bench with 2,048. It's 3-0 to Kendall. Kendall's walked a dozen times this year. He was a consideration as a possibility to lead off for this club after Ricky Weeks went down for the season and having surgery on his wrist. Strike, and it's 3-1 with Gallardo, who swings the bat very well on deck. Kendall, a real workhorse. This is his 34th game as the Brewers catcher this year. He caught 149 last year. That's a club record. Blum to his left, looks the runner back. 2 outs.
This weekend it's the Lone Star Series, the battle for the Silver Boot on Friday. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Lone Star Series cap. That's courtesy of Farmers Insurance, modeled there by Wave. And then after the game, we've got Friday night fireworks presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. On Saturday after the ball game, it's a post-game concert, and that's Reckless Kelly entertaining. Tickets available at Astros.com.
Giovanni Gallardo has belted 2 homers. He's driven in 4 runs, 4 for 17 at the plate. There's strike 1 to Gallardo. Has 4 career homers already and 4 doubles. .235 batting average for Gallardo.
Pitched 8 shutout innings against the Pirates and hit a solo home run in a 1-0 ball game.
Headed for the gap in left center. Michael Bourne runs it down. No runs a hit. A runner stranded at second base. 1-0 Astros after 1.5. From ballpark supervisor Porfirio Franco.
Well, how many balls did you catch already?
We haven't got any. He's got one.
Well, what is your glove?
I forgot it.
Well, it's very nice to have you here. You have a good time, all right? Yeah. How you doing? Everything all right? You need help?
I think we're good.
Yeah?
Are we walking the right way?
Yes, you are. You go to section 108, take the escalators up.
108 and take the escalator?
3 flights up.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good time.
Part of the experience of being at the ballpark right there, the personalized treatment. Ball 1 to Miguel Tejada. .318 batting average for Miggy. And he whacks one a long way left center field. Cameron heads back, watches this one go way past him. And Miguel Tejada takes the tour. It's home run number 3. 2-0 Astros as Miggy gets his 49th hit of the young season.
It took Miggy a while. It went a long time between home runs, but has found that power stroke in recent weeks. Last couple of weeks, starting to hit it with more authority. He's been getting plenty of hits all year long. He's been a hit machine, and usually they come in bunches for him.
Jeff Blum looks at the curve for ball 1. So Tejada ripping his 3rd homer, getting his 22nd run batted in. Gives the Astros a 2-run lead with nobody out. And Blum takes that one for ball 2. Jeff coming off a very good road trip. He hit .353 on that trip. .259 for the season. No homers, 12 runs batted in. Fastball is good for a strike. That makes it 2-1. Last night, Jeff was 0 for 4. The Brewers snapped his 4-game hitting streak. He came up with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 4th inning and popped up. 2 men on, nobody out in the 6th. Hit a fly ball to center. It was a tough night for him at the plate. 3 balls and a strike. Ground ball. Bill Hall leaving his feet. Throws from his knees. Excellent play by Hall. He was well off the line.
And that time there was no option. There was only one play because nobody was on base. So from the knees, Billy Hall throws a strike to Prince Fielder to get Blummer. And Jeff got beat by that 3-1 fastball.
Coming up later in our Dodge Grab Life feature, Chris Sampson tells us what is on his iPod. Stay tuned for that. He's in the bullpen along with Jeff Fulcino, who pitched so well last night. 3 perfect innings. Number 39. Pudge Rodriguez, the batter. There's ball 1. LaTroy Hawkins feeling much better and ready to go tonight. .276 for Pudge. 5 homers. He's driven in 19. He's getting some good cooking this week here in Houston. His mother's in town. 1 ball, 1 strike.
What does she fix for him?
Well, he didn't say, but you know, his dad was in town in Chicago. He hit his 300th home run for Dad. He said he kind of alternates between Mom and Dad visiting during the season. So this week it's Mom, and You can be assured that he is well taken care of in the food department. 2 balls and a strike. We'll have to ask what his favorite dish is. Wandy Rodriguez on deck. Pudge fouls it back. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yankees lead the Orioles 5-3. They're at the end of the 5th inning at Yankee Stadium. Phil Hughes going for New York against Jeremy Guthrie. Adam Jones hit his 9th home run for the Orioles.
What a player. Man, kid's got all kinds of ability.
They say he's a 5-tool guy. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ty Wigginton, number 3 for the Yankees. 3 homers in the 2nd inning alone. Nick Swisher, number 9. Robinson Cano, his 7th. Melky Cabrera, his 5th. Upstairs, Pudge takes the walk. Or did he? No. He was called on appeal by Delphine Colon for swinging at it. And Pudge going at it from a distance with Colon here as Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire, intervenes. Strikeout number 1 for Gallardo.
Well, probably something along the lines from Eric Cooper. Like, well, there's nothing you can do about it. He rung you up. You might as well go get your gear on and get ready to catch. That didn't look like much of a swing.
No, that wasn't a swing. He had his hands way out in front of the bat. Now Bill Castro is on his way to the mound. Pitching coach for the Brewers. Longtime bullpen coach. With Mike Maddox moving to the Texas Rangers this year, Castro gets a shot at the pitching coach job, and his troops have done exceptionally well.
The Astros are celebrating 10 years here in Minute Maid Park. Help us pick the top moment in the park's history with our bracket challenge. You'll find it at Astros.com. You can cast your vote today. Well, there's Craig Biggio's final game. That was a big moment. And there's everybody hugging. Those are always big moments. They're jumping up and down, going, yeah! It's the 0-4 wild card clincher. Does that mean they clinched the wild card, or they won the wild card round of the playoffs?
Oh, that means they clinched the wild card spot to go to the playoffs. Yeah. Now Wandy Rodriguez.
So I wonder what Bill Castro was doing, chatting with Gallardo at this stage of the ball game.
I wondered the same thing. 2
outs, nobody on, and Wandy up there. I wonder if he saw something. I was wondering if he was hurting a little bit.
Well, that would be a good question.
Or maybe he might have said, look, you've been struggling with whatever. You got the opposing pitcher up there. Why don't you take this opportunity to try to make that pitch, whatever it is.
Okay. I think it's his fastball location. What do you think it is?
Well, he's been pumping fastballs here. So maybe that's what it was. Let's just see if we can throw a series of good fastballs down around the knees, find that release point.
What a fine young 23-year-old hurler. Little chop back to him. But he gave up a leadoff homer here in the 2nd inning to Miguel Tejada, number 3 of the year for Miggy, makes it 2-0 Astros.
That home run, and that home run gets the Boys and Girls Club an additional $500 paid by Reliant Energy, who sponsored the Home Run Derby earlier today. And any Astro that hits a home run throughout the rest of the game, they will be donating another $500. I'm joined by Jason Few, who is the president of Reliant Energy. And Jason, how fun was that event today, the Home Run Derby before the game?
Oh, it was a great event. You know, at Reliant, we're just really excited to be a partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, as well as the Texans and the Astros. And it's really all about the kids. And we owe a lot to our customers that really make it possible for us to be good stewards in the community in which we do business. And you couldn't have asked for a better event today.
And, you know, you were out there kind of running the whole show and really trying to get these guys, trying to get them jacked up. Eric Winston had a great showing out there once again. You can see he's going deep here now. And you challenged him to hit some home runs, some upper deck ones, and he stepped up to the plate, didn't he?
Yeah, we tried to add a little something different this year. We added some extra targets out in the home run zone, $10,000 sections. And then we really wanted to get the players really excited about it. And they're such great sportsmen, obviously. And they get excited about a chance to help the Boys and Girls Club, and he really stepped up big there in the end and added another $20,000. And just over the last 4 years in our Home Run Blast Derby, we've donated over $160,000 to help the Boys and Girls Club. We had $31,300 tonight, another home run already, so we're adding another $500 to that, so we're already off to a very good start for the Boys and Girls Club.
All right, and real quick, I know you've got some new stuff going on. Kevin Eschenfelder asked if the rates were going to go up. You said no.
Absolutely not. In fact, we've announced that we're lowering our rates by up to 10%. We've been with our new commercials telling everyone that, and we're just excited to be a part of this community, excited to help the Boys and Girls Club. Great working with the Texans and the Astros, and thanks to our customers, and enjoy those lower rates for the summer.
All right, thanks so much. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Patty. Corey Hart led off with a single to right center, and then Bill Hall was off balance as he hit that ball in the air to second base. So one out now, and here is Ryan Braun. Braun had the infield hit to shortstop in the first inning. And the throw goes over. Hart moves around well. He's 3 for 6 in stolen bases. Brewers, though, do not really do a lot of running because of the power they have on their club. They're 11 for 20 in stealing bases this year.
Yeah, that's not a real good number. As a matter of fact, that's a bad number.
That is a bad number.
Combination of Wandy on the hill, the lefty with Pudge behind the plate. I don't think they'll be trying to do much running, at least not in the early going. Maybe play for a run late in the ball game. They're going to rely on their power.
Hart stole 23 bases last year, and that same number the year before. Braun looks at ball one. The Marlins beat the Diamondbacks in the first of a doubleheader, 8-6 in Florida. Dan Uggla homered and drove in 4. Diamondbacks pitcher Scott Schoenweis lost his wife. 39-year-old Gabriel Dawn Schoenweis died today. 2 balls, no strikes. Chris Volstad the winner, and Matt Lindstrom got save number 8 for the Fish today, with Doug Davis taking the loss in game 1 of that twin bill. Rough year for the D-backs. They're 15-24 now. Strike to Braun, and it's 2-1 to Ryan. One of the Brewers' fine young homegrown players. First round pick in 05. He was the 5th player drafted that year. His younger brother Steve is a Brewer farmhand now. Fly ball to center. Bourne started out very deep, went a little bit deeper. 2 outs.
Well, we mentioned earlier about the Lone Star Series coming up this weekend with the Rangers in town on Sunday. It's a 105 game, and the first 10,000 fans will receive a Lone Star Series t-shirt. That's courtesy of Cons. 1-877-9-ASTROS or astros.com.
Interesting weekend coming up with the Rangers here. Prince Fielder had his base hit to the right of Matsui into right center field in the first inning. Fielder's the only Brewer to start every game this season.
And with Wandy on the hill, the lefty, Fielder the only left-handed bat in the lineup for Ken Maka tonight. He's got 4 lefties on the bench. Fielder plays against everybody, and he hangs in there well. In terms of batting average, about the same left and right this year.
Matsui very deep. Tejada on the first base side of second, and the count runs to 2-0 on Fielder with Mike Cameron on deck. There's where the Astros have deployed their players. Milwaukee 3-1 against Houston. Fielder hanging in well against lefties. It's 3-0 to him here. He's on a pace for 145 walks. The club record of 99 was set in 2000 by Jeremy Burnitz. Strike to Fielder. That makes it 3-1 to Prince. Pirates and the Nationals are tied 1-1. They're in the bottom of the 6th at Washington. John Lannon going for the Nats against Paul Maholm. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Well, it was good to see the Texans out here with that charity batting practice. $31,000 going to the Boys and Girls Clubs. First place week here in Houston with these 2 clubs atop the NL Central in the Brewers case and the AL West and the Rangers case coming into play the Astros. Jose Valverde is on his way to Miami for a second opinion on his calf injury. He's been rehabbing for the last few days at Methodist Hospital. Runner going. Fly ball left. Carlos Lee heads in. Now back a little bit. And over toward the line for the 3rd out. No runs ahead. A runner stranded. 2-0 Astros after 2.5. By Reliant Energy and by Southwest Airlines. On this gorgeous clear night, it is 2-0. The Astros leading the Brewers. And now the bottom of the 3rd brings Kazuo Matsui to the plate for the first time. There's strike 1. And he is the leadoff man. He thought he was batting second. But Michael Bourne opened the game with a single, and then that lineup was challenged by Ken Maka. And apparently that's not the lineup that was turned in to the umpiring crew. And so Matsui was declared out. Bourne went back to the plate, batted again, and walked. So Matsui's 0 for 1 without having batted tonight.
You know you're going bad when you're 0 for 1 and you haven't even been to home plate.
That's the way Bourne opened the game. Mike Riley, the crew chief, said you're going to have to come back to home plate and bat again. And then Bourne walked and scored on the RBI double by Berkman. Now Tapper over the mound. J.J. Hardy with a quick release. Just yes, Matsui.
Now Hardy opted to wait back to play a little bit more convenient hop, and it almost cost him. His quick release bailed him out. Cecil Cooper out there to challenge that one.
Delphine Colon with another contested call. Called Pudge Rodriguez for swinging the bat on a 3-2 count in the 2nd inning. That was very much a close play. When Hardy laid back then, he really had to gun it.
I would be in favor of changing the major league rules to disallow arguing plays like this. If you're a pitcher, and it's good gamesmanship if you're the manager to go out there and get in the umpire's face. I have nothing wrong with Coop doing it. It's within the rules, but it seems silly to me that an umpire would be able to argue this play, a judgment call on a bang-bang play like that at first.
Oh, that looked like he beat it from that angle. Michael Bourne, the batter. There's strike 1 to him. Michael walked and scored on the Berkman double. He was running on that pitch.
That's if I were the head of the umpires union, that's what I would argue for. Managers can't come out and argue bang judgment calls.
Okay. You may be contacted very soon.
They'd be assessed a technical or something.
2 balls and a strike. Well, Michael, as the leadoff man in 7 games, has hit .222, but he has a .364 on base percentage this year.
Or maybe we could amend that. Managers can only come out and argue if they're going to just go blotto, because then there's entertainment value. Scream and yell, throw the base, and do a little Earl Weaver imitation.
Plenty of that. Strike 3 for Gallardo. He gets his 2nd strikeout.
Well, can't fault Michael for not offering it that one. Looked like it might have been a little bit high, or certainly at the top of the strike zone. Tough to do anything with that pitch. Gallardo, he can do that. He can beat you down and around the knees, and he can climb the ladder with that 4-seamer as well.
Our league leaders brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. The Astros pitchers with the most complete games here at Minute Maid Park since it opened in 2000. Roy Oswald has 12. Chris Holt, Andy Pettit, Shane Reynolds, Wade Miller with 2, and there are some others with 1.
We have a Chris Holt sighting.
Yeah. Is he still living in the Dallas area?
No idea.
Lance Berkman with the RBI double. Off to a good start tonight. He just took strike one. Fouls that one back. 0-2. Richard Justice wrote a pretty insightful column on Lance today in the Houston Chronicle. Lance talking about how very difficult hitting a baseball can be at the major league level and how it's really tough to explain how these slumps get started. He said he's heard it all. Your body's jumping out, your hands aren't staying back, all the things that hitters normally hear when they're slumping.
And he said the doubts start to creep in. Do I still have it? And I imagine that every player at some point or another faces it. And the difference with Lance now is he's 33. As you get a little bit older, you start to think, gee, am I really in decline here, or is this just a slump?
2-2.
It's not unprecedented for hitters to start to go downhill as they enter their mid-30s. It would be a little bit surprising given how good Lance has been. When you consider guys like Berkman and Bagwell and Biggio, you put them on a different level.
3-2 now.
Their career arc doesn't follow the same path as most guys.
No. There are plenty of examples of guys who really have had a precipitous drop off after age 33, but I don't think Lance will be joining that company. Fouls it back. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes. Our Reliant Energy power play will show you Michael Bourne running on the pitch and Berkman driving the ball to the gap in right center field. That made it 1-0 in the first inning. As he bats here with 2 outs, nobody on. It's a 3-2 count. And ball 4. He looks like the Berkman of old tonight so far.
Yeah, the last week or 10 days, he hit 450 or something like that on the road trip. And he's hitting the ball with authority, and you can tell by the way he's taking pitches and reacting at home plate. It looks like he's seeing it better and just more comfortable in the batter's box. Not trying to force things.
Well, he's 3rd in the league in walks. He's on now for Carlos Lee. El Caballo reaching on that fielder's choice play in the first inning when Bill Hall tried to throw behind Berkman. There's a shot by Bill Hall. Left field corner. Berkman stumbles around second base, and he'll have to hold up there as Lee bangs his hands together around first. So it looked as if runners would be at second and third with 2 outs, but instead Berkman stumbled around second, and it's just a single for Lee. Crazy game tonight so far.
It's a sniper. Seeing Lance as he starts to break down. And the ball died. It hit the little cutout down there and just stopped there. So Braun had a long way to go get it. It's not so much the fact that Lance didn't get to third with 2 outs, but the fact that Carlos wasn't able to get to second. Was he pointing at a full moon, maybe?
Yeah. There must be a full
sniper.
moon.
No,
it's a sniper. Okay.
Sniper
in the upper deck. Hunter Pence, the batter. He bounced into a 4-3 double play. Fouls it back for strike 1. Hunter is 3rd in the National League in batting average, right-handed hitters against right-handed pitchers. He's hitting .367 against righties. This right-hander has been very difficult. Right-handed hitters are hitting .169 against Gallardo this season. Here's fielder talking with Carlos Lee. Foul, and it's 1-2 to Hunter Pence.
When Rich Donnelly was coaching in Milwaukee and Carlos was on the team, Rich nicknamed him 7-11. His mouth is always open. He's down there. He's providing a little stand-up routine for Prince.
Donnelly's a piece of work. Tigers lead the Rangers 5-2, top of the 7th in Detroit. Hunter checked his swing. The count running to 2 balls, 2 strikes. Detroit won last night behind Dontrell Willis. Tonight it's Justin Verlander leaving after 6 innings of excellent baseball, giving up 1 earned run. Matt Harrison was the starter for the Rangers.
So Rangers come to town after facing that pitching in Detroit. Maybe they'll be a cold team, or maybe they'll just be a mad team.
Yeah.
And Dontrell Willis back in a big way last night. Verlander having a big night tonight. He leads the American League in strikeouts.
3-2, 2 outs. The runners will be moving. And it's foul back.
Yeah, that's a risky pitch right there. The slider out of the zone, you know, you could get away with. You leave that breaking pitch in the strike zone 3-2 here, you're asking for trouble. The slider anyway. Hunter's seen enough of them over the last couple of years to realize a lot of right-handed pitchers are going to try to go away with that breaking pitch on him. That's one of the reasons why he's doing so well this year.
Fastball drilled to center field. Cameron backing. Long way back for Cameron. Extra bases. Up on Taos Hill. Berkman scores. Lee behind him. Pence on the way to third. Hardy's relay not in time. 4-0 Astros. Pence drilled a shot all the way up to the edge of Taos Hill for his second triple. He now has 17 runs batted in.
Well, that gives you an idea how strong he is, because it looked like that ball actually got in on him a little bit. The high fastball, and he's able to get the hands in and throw the barrel of the bat on it. That ball looked like it was in just a little bit, but still able to drive it over Cameron's head out there. It was playing a very shallow center field. So Lance's stumble at second base, inconsequential.
Yes.
Swing of the bat.
Cameron tracked it all the way down. Now runner at third for Miguel Tejada. He homered. Ball one moves him back. Gallardo brought an ERA of 3.09 into this game. He had been hit not much at all. 33 hits allowed in 46 2/3 innings. He's surrendered 4 hits so far. And there's a play by the second sacker McGee for the third out. But the Astros cash in with 2 runs on 2 hits. They leave the runner at third. After 3, it's 4-0 Houston. Dontrell Willis last night got his first win since September 25th of 07. Todd Helton got career hit number 2,000. Joel Pinheiro with his first shutout since 03. And Eric Chavez has a back injury, which puts his career in jeopardy. He's going to try to rehab for about 4 or 5 weeks. 4th inning underway with Mike Cameron batting. 4-0 Wandy Rodriguez with the lead, and there's ball one. Cameron grounded out to third with 2 men on to end the top of the first inning.
Well, the way Wandy's been pitching this year, you give him a 4-0 lead, especially in this ballpark, and it feels like a W. I know there's a lot of firepower in that Brewer lineup and plenty of baseball to be played. But you certainly like your chances. The way the lefty's been pitching this year, it's been incredible.
2 balls and a strike to Cameron. He rips that one to left field. It's hooking hard, but it stays fair, and that's a Mike Cameron long ball. Number 8 for Cameron makes it a 4-1 Houston lead, and that snaps an 0-for-14 slump for him.
And just jinxed the daylights right out of you, Wandy. First home run that Wandy has allowed this year.
"55 innings of homerless baseball for Wandy until that blow." Brewers have hit 51 long balls this year. J.J. Hardy looks at ball one. Well, Cameron now has 8 homers, 21 runs batted in. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Brandon Inge hit number 11 tonight for the Tigers, with Nelson Cruz connecting for his 8th for the Rangers. Two and one. First homer allowed this year.
Yeah, he goes back 88 in the 3rd innings. August 10th of last year, the last time he allowed a home run prior to that one.
Hunter Pence over in right field toward the corner. At the edge of the wall. 1 out. That's the longest homerless streak by an Astros pitcher since Juan Augusto, a lefty reliever, had a streak of 91 2/3 innings without a home run. July 4th of '89 through July 2nd of '90.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Wandy's not a guy who features a real power sinker, or you think of an extreme ground ball pitcher, but he's been able to keep it in the yard.
Curveball to McGee, ball one. Only Zach Greinke had a longer streak in the major leagues active coming into this game tonight than Wandy. Matsui flips over to Berkman, 2 outs right after the home run. Wandy regroups, and it'll be Kendall next. Half-Lack trivia time. Name the 4 opposing starters who have 2 complete games at Minute Maid Park. Let's see.
I would guess Zambrano.
Okay. How about Jeff Suppan? Strike to Jason Kendall, who grounded out to third in the second inning.
He's probably had as many turns in this ballpark as anybody.
Yeah. I don't think Chris Carpenter has pitched all that much here because of his injuries, but maybe he's one of them.
I like Carpenter.
Okay. No balls, 2 strikes. Complete games at Minute Maid Park by opposing starters. Soft liner, Tejada gloves it. The home run by Cameron gives the Brewers their first run of the night. It's 4-1 Astros in the 4th. Chris Carpenter, John Lieber, Ben Sheets, and Dontrell Willis.
Dontrell Willis. Surprising.
Yes, it is.
How many starts has Dontrell made in this ballpark?
Couldn't have been many.
Somebody will tell us.
3 or 4 maybe. Giovanni Gallardo threw 106 pitches in his win on the 24th of April, 61 tonight.
He's going to have to be very efficient and very good if he's going to complete a ball game here tonight.
Gallardo with that 4-1 record, trailing by the same score, 4-1. Bottom of the 4th inning, Jeff Blum, he grounded out to third. And he couldn't stop the bat once he started it on the changeup for strike 1. Gallardo has thrown at least 100 pitches in all 7 of his starts this year. Ground ball to Fielder. There's 1 out. Bud Rodriguez following. The Astros have 6 regulars hitting .314 or higher this season. But they're only 12th in runs scored in the National League.
Where do they rank it on base? Last time I checked, they're like
10th
13th or 14th. Oh, so they're climbing a little bit.
Yeah, May's been better for them offensively. Bud Rodriguez struck out, much to his dismay. He was called for swinging the bat by Delphine Colon. And there's strike 1. Astros are hitting .294 as a team in May. That's second in the majors. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, that .314 batting average for the 6 regulars. That's for May only. They have 4 starting players hitting .300 or better for the season. That's tops in the league. Fly ball to center. Mike Cameron. 2 down, and it's Wandy Rodriguez next. The Astros in the month of May are 8-7. They were 17-20 overall coming into this game. They've hit much better. They've scored quite a bit better, 5.5 runs per game.
Pitching's needs to step it up a little bit.
Yeah.
We talk so often, especially early on, about wasting good pitching. And man, I guess it's been a case of wasting some good offensive performances. Good hack, Wandy. It's a way to turn it loose.
He is hitless for the season, 0 for 18.
What did he do?
Can't tell.
He tweaked something, or is he just talking to himself? I like the fact that he's swinging. I don't know.
Making faces.
He's setting Gallardo up. He's going to convince him to throw him a BP fastball here. See? Pretend you're hurt, like you're not going to swing again, and then try to hit it to Conroe. Very stylish ladies back there. Did you notice them tonight, Brownie?
No, didn't notice.
Right behind home plate.
What are they
Very
featuring?
stylish ladies.
Yeah?
Yeah, right there. They're in the hat.
Spring colors? Oh, the hat.
And the other lady had her shades on, the jeweled shades, but she took them off as the sun went down.
Well, Gene was in the dark last night outside the Astros clubhouse. Oh, there's that hat.
Yeah. Looks like she came from the Derby.
That's a derby. Now, Gene, who works outside the Astros clubhouse, was in the dark all night. He brought his sunglasses in to work with him and didn't have his regular glasses. Gallardo gets a strikeout, and that makes it a 1-2-3-4 for him. That's his third strikeout of the night. After 4, it's 4-1 Astros.
Up here in the suites, joined by an Olympic medalist, Cullen Jones. Won gold in Beijing, the 4x100 men's relay. Threw out the first pitch today. Pretty exciting for you out there. I know you were nervous, but you did a good job.
Absolutely. It was my first time throwing from the mound, and it is very much so downhill. I didn't notice that until I threw it for the first time.
Aren't you glad you stood on the mound? He tried to stand up on the grass, and I said, absolutely not. A world-class athlete, you're throwing from the mound.
It was the first time I didn't get a practice, but I did pretty well from the mound. I was pretty happy with it.
All right, tell us a little bit about Beijing. I mean, that was the race, of course, that the French were kind of talking a little bit of smack, and you guys came back and really gave it to them.
Oh, definitely. We sat together, all 4 of us, and said we were going to put on a show. We were going to do the best that the U.S. can put up. And we went out there and absolutely did it. We swam what our coaches wanted us to swim, and we came home with the gold, so we were very happy with it.
Now, you are in town, though, kicking off a new initiative, Make a Splash. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Make a Splash is really our initiative to try to push more and more kids to understand the importance of learning how to swim. I got the alarming statistics right after I became a professional athlete that African Americans drown 3 times more likely than any other race in the nation. So, I mean, with that platform that they've been giving me with being a professional, I felt like I needed to work on that. And I jumped on with Make a Splash to try to help kids have no excuse to learn how to swim.
And today, here in Houston, you went out to Aldi and you went out to a school, talked to about 1,000 kids. How did that go?
Well, thanks to ConocoPhillips and thanks to the USA Swimming Foundation, I was able to come out here, and all the kids are actually, most of the kids are here. 1,000 of them are here, and we really started a fire with them, and they were really interested in getting into the pool, and that's what we started this for.
All right, good job. Nice to meet you. Great talking to you. And for more information on that, just go to makeasplash.org, guys.
Thank you, Patty. 1 out as a strikeout of Gallardo began the 5th inning for Wandy Rodriguez. Now it's Corey Hart. Hart hit a liner to center and then got a hit to right center field. 1 for 2 tonight.
I'm in the dark on this one. I didn't know there was such a thing as professional swimming.
I didn't either. Broken bat, foul ball. There's strike 1. There's a swimming channel, though. We found that out this week.
Is it really?
Yeah. Michael Phelps is back to racing again. They televised his race. Just another broken bat for Wandy Rodriguez. 1 ball, 1 strike to Hart. That one bounces and it's 2-1.
How about parimutuel betting on swimming? We'd have something.
Well, okay.
No, because the Olympics are exciting for swimming, but that's the Olympics.
Right.
And people really don't pay much attention other than the Olympics. But if you could go to the pool and bet on a trifecta like you can at the horse race.
3 balls and a strike. Bill Hall's on deck. Home plate umpire correcting the scoreboard now. Corey Hart wants to make sure he knows what the count is. 3-2. Wandy is trying to win his third in the month of May. He's never won 3 in the same season during the month of May. Last won 3 games in the same calendar month in July of 08. Foul ball keeps the count at 3 balls, 2 strikes. He's shooting for win number 5 of the year.
And you saw him pump his fist out there a little bit in frustration. He made the pitch he wanted to make, and Hart just got a piece. He threw him a 3-2 changeup down around the knees, and he had Hart out in front, and he just got a piece of it to stay alive.
He's 3-5 lifetime against Milwaukee. Fouled away.
And so they went soft away, and now fastball away. You got him looking out there to see if they try to jam him with the fastball. The problem with that is, of course, you want to be able to throw a strike here. You don't want to walk him with a 3-run lead. And that inside fastball that's on the plate, that's a dangerous pitch.
Curveball got it.
Yeah, when in doubt, go with Uncle Charlie. Go with his best pitch. That's just a dandy of a curveball. He got Gallardo with the curveball, and now Corey Hart. He went changeup, fastball, curveball. Breaking out all the weapons to finally polish off Corey Hart.
Good-looking youngsters. They are our progressive fans of the game. They're all painted up for this one tonight. Are they twins?
Hey, there's the old prospector.
Bill Hall's 0 for 2. There's strike 1 to him. Wandy's ERA through the first 8 starts, the lowest by an Astros starter since Roger Clemens through his first 8 starts of 05. No balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Braun on deck. That's incentive to get Hall here and end the 5th inning. Wandy's ERA the lowest by a left-handed starter for his first 8 starts since Randy Johnson was with the Astros in '98. They traded for him at the end of July that year, and he went 10-1 with the Astros. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, you know, if Wandy keeps this up, we're going to have some kind of a Wandy fan club. You know, we got the Wizard of Oz and the Pumas and the Caballitos. We got a Hunter's Lodge coming up.
We do?
Yep, that's going to be a new one.
Didn't know about that one.
Yep, it's going to be clubs. There's going to be a new promotion called Hunter's Lodge, and if you buy seats in Hunter's Lodge, you'll get a specially made T-shirt.
Okay, you get a moose head.
You probably get a big horn.
Okay. Swing and a miss. Wandy strikes out the side. Break out the magic wands. It's 4-1 Astros after 4.5. First time the Astros have scored more than 2 in a game off Gallardo in his career start against Houston. He throws ball 1 to Kazuo Matsui, who is 0 for 2 in this game, to be followed by Bourne and Berkman in the Astros 5th. Bill Hall in the grass at 3rd. Matsui has a 1-1 count. There's the way the infielders are shaped for this at bat for Matsui. One and 2. Kazuo doesn't have the on base average Michael Bourne has to this point of the season. .298 on base average coming into this game compared to Bourne's .373. Well, they tried to move him out of the leadoff spot, but it didn't work. And he shoots one fair into the left field corner. Matsui heads for a double. His 6th of the season.
Hey, Astros having some real nice at-bats off Gallardo here tonight. It's not like his stuff isn't good. I mean, we've seen the snap on the curveball, and this is not a bad pitch. He fooled Matsui with it earlier in that bat, but this time Kaz stays back, keeps that front shoulder closed, and just shoots it into the left field corner. The pitch that Pence hit was a pretty good fastball that was up and in a little bit. Lee's base hit was a first pitch slider, not a horrible pitch, just a good job of hitting here by the Astros tonight.
Michael Bourne 0 for 1, showing bunt. takes the ball. He led off the game with a single, and then the lineup was found to be erroneous for the Astros, and it should have been Matsui according to the lineup card batting, so Bourne's hit was taken away from him. Then he batted again. He walked and scored on the Berkman double. Struck out in the 3rd inning.
Just think if that had happened to Joe DiMaggio in the midst of his 56-game hitting streak.
Oh, wow. You know, once, according to a story, Nolan Ryan had pitched for the Angels the night before. And then Dick Williams was a manager and erroneously submitted a lineup card for the next game with Ryan as a starting pitcher.
Noli take the ball for you.
Well, he did. He pitched to one batter, and then they got him out of there. He was sitting in the dugout with his running shoes on when they discovered the error.
Yeah, talk about the way those errors usually come down. That was probably just wishful thinking. I wish I could send him out there every night.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Seth McClung is warming up for the Brewers. Gallardo's thrown 78 pitches. Gallardo, one of a very fertile farm system product of the Brewers. Manny Parra also in the rotation from their farm system. Line drive to right field. Hart makes that catch. Here's the tag by Matsui, and he moves to 3rd base. So Bourne moves him on a hard hit out number 1. And it's Lance Berkman next.
Yeah, he doesn't get credited with the sacrifice, but the same result. Able to pull the ball, hit it in the air deep enough, and allows Matsui to advance. So he gave him a shot, gave himself a shot to drive the run in by swinging the bat as opposed to just dropping down a bunt.
Now Lance Berkman, the infielders come in. They're halfway on the right side, and shortstop is halfway. Now Bill Hall's going to back up, and they're all halfway. Foul back for strike 1. Lance with an RBI double and a walk and a run scored. Consider these products from the farm system: Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, Matt Gamble, J.J. Hardy, Ricky Weeks is out for the year, Bill Hall, Corey Hart, Gallardo, Parra, all coming from the fertile Milwaukee system.
Yeah, and people will pine, say, gee, I wish our organization was like that, and we called all these young kids up to the big leagues. Well, the Brewers were really bad for a long time.
Yeah.
And they so they had a lot of real high draft picks, and they picked wisely, and they let those kids develop, and they didn't trade them away. So, be careful what you wish for, because it was lean for a long time in Milwaukee.
You bet it was.
I'm not saying it's not, a legitimate plan, and it's paying off for them now, but you hear fans sometimes say, gee, we should be developing more of our own, and we should adopt this approach. But are you going to be patient if your team wins 65, 70 ball games for 4 or 5 years in a row?
Berkman looks at a ball high. It's 2-2, and then they have signed free agents: Greg Counsell, Jason Kendall, Mike Cameron, Jeff Suppan, Braden Looper, and they traded for Dave Bush. Signed Trevor Hoffman as well as a free agent. Todd Coffey was a waiver claim. 3-2. Mitch Stetter, a lefty reliever, was signed for a $1,000 bonus. Mark DeFelice, who's done well in their bullpen this year, was playing in an independent league. And Carlos Villanueva was obtained in a trade for Wayne Franklin. Doug Melvin has done very well in building this team. Bouncer back to Gallardo. And he looked Matsui back and took care of out number 2. Sharply hit ball. Houston Astros baseball on Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by AT&T, by Canon, by Dodge, and by Southwest Airlines. Now Bill Hall comes over, says something to Gallardo, who's at 85 pitches for the night. Carlos Lee has attacked the first pitch in both of his at-bats. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning and singled to left in the third. It looked like a double, but Lance Berkman fell, rounding second. Good cut there, and there's strike 1 as he once again goes for the first pitch from Gallardo. Doug Melvin talked about that trade for CC Sabathia last year. for the game tonight. Brewers giving up one of their top young power hitters in the organization to the Cleveland Indians to get Sabathia in that trade. Fly ball behind second base. Hardy is out. And in the Astros' fifth, leadoff double does not turn into a run, and it's 4-1 Houston. Now for our Dodge Grab Live feature. Here's Chris telling us what's on his iPod.
What's my iPod? A lot of country music, a little bit of pop, mostly got a lot of George Strait, Kenny Chesney, but that's the majority of my iPod. And a little, as of right now, my favorite song is Chicken Fried by Zach Brown Band.
Chris getting loose there. He hasn't begun to throw yet with Wandy Rodriguez and the Astros leading at 4-1. Sixth inning begins with strike one from Wandy to Ryan Braun. Braun is 1 for 2. Wandy's retired 6 in a row. And there are the pitching lines of Gallardo and Rodriguez stacked on top of each other. 1-1 with Fielder and Cameron to come here in the sixth inning for Milwaukee. Wandy has not walked a batter tonight. Didn't walk anybody last time. Didn't walk anybody the previous start. Grounded to Matsui. 1 out.
Don't forget, folks, if an Astro ever hits the Chick-fil-A foul poles, fans from the game can take their ticket stub to any greater Houston area Chick-fil-A and receive a free chicken sandwich.
Prince Fielder singled in the first inning, hit a fly ball to left in the third. He has seen a lot of pitches. He worked the count full on both of his at-bats. Wandy's trying to string together 4 consecutive wins. And there's strike one to Fielder. He has just really come so far in the last year and a half or so. Going deeper into games now. Bounced and Berkman is there. Tossing to Rodriguez. 2 outs. What's on tap with the Astros? Looks at tomorrow night's starters, brought to you by Bud Light. It's Jeff Suppan. He's 2-7 lifetime against the Astros. 3-3 this year. Pitched a beauty, beating his former club, the Cardinals, 1-0 in his last start. Roy Oswalt, 13-8 lifetime against the Brewers, 1-2 overall this year with a 4.5 ERA. 6:30 on FS Houston for Astros Live tomorrow night. Mike Cameron homered to left in the fourth inning. He's 1 for 2. Each club has 5 hits, no errors tonight. The Rays are trailing the A's 7-5. The Athletics lead in the bottom of the 8th. That's St. Petersburg. Scott Kazmir started and allowed 7 earned runs in 4 1/3 innings for Tampa Bay.
See where Joe Maddon's close to signing a 3-year contract extension.
Well, that would be expected after the club they had last year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carlos Pena hit his 14th homer tonight for the Rays. Willie Ibar, number 2. Even though many feel it would be difficult for them to duplicate what they did last year. Now this year it's the Toronto Blue Jays who are drawing a lot of attention with their first place standing and their excellent start. But they've only played 4 games within the AL East so far. And they've had some pitching injuries and have withstood them very nicely. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Toronto with a .643 winning percentage. And that's second to the Dodgers in the majors. Wow. Strikeout number 5. That's 9 straight outs for Wandy Rodriguez and a 4-1 Astros lead. With Hunter Pence leading it off, he ripped a 2-run triple in the third after bouncing into a double play. Bouncer off the glove of Gallardo. That slows it down, and Hunter Pence will reach on an infield hit. Casey McGee unable to get him.
Showing the speed game tonight. The triple, a speed play, and now the infield hit. Ball that Gallardo probably should have gloved. And once he didn't get it, he caromed over there to McGee, and Pence just too quick for him to make a play on him.
Hunter on at first in this 4-1 game. Hit number 6 for the Astros. He has 2 of them. Miguel Tejada has the home run. That came in the 2nd inning. And he bounced out in the 3rd. This time it's low, ball 1. It's the Coors Light 6th inning. Time now for the Coors Light freeze cam, showing you the home run swing of Miggy on number 3 of the year. They've all come at Minute Maid Park. Coors Light freeze cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Throw goes over to first. Hunter Pence diving back in. So Tejada now has a chance to do further damage, with the Astros getting their 3rd look at Gallardo, and Gallardo has thrown 88 pitches now. He could come up if they get a man on in the 7th inning. Ken Maka staying with his young right-hander. Tejada looks at it, and it's 2-0 to Miggy.
Well, Miggy will be sitting dead red here. Let's see if Gallardo challenges with a fastball.
Tejada's hitting .329 in his home ballpark this year. 3-0.
They hit that home run back in the 2nd. It was a fastball. Gallardo a little gun shy, knowing that Miggy's looking for one on 2-0. The problem with that, of course, is you've missed. Now you've gone 3-0. You already have a man on first. Sooner or later, you're going to have to challenge him.
3-1. Tigers beat the Rangers again for the 2nd straight night. 5-3 Detroit. Justin Verlander struck out 8 in 6 innings. Battle of first place clubs. Detroit going to 22-16, while Texas is 23-16 now. Runner going. Line drive over shortstop. Ryan Braun in left. He gets by him and goes to the wall. That'll score Hunter Pence to make it 5-1. RBI double Tejada. That's double number 13 for Miguel, and 23 runs batted in.
He never gets just one hit in the game.
You're right about that. He's hit over 400 for the last 10 games. He has 8 3-hit games to lead the National League. Has 2 so far here in the 6th inning. That's Jeff Blum, 0 for 2. 2 groundouts. Ken Maka's on his way to the mound. 93 pitches in the books for Gallardo, who will fall short of that 100-pitch mark for the first time in 8 starts this season. Seth McClung has been warming up. And there's the move by Maka in this 5-1 ball game. Houston up. Back in a moment. Nobody out. And now Ken Maka of the Brewers provides our Home Depot moment, doing more on defense as he does something with a lineup card, challenging the Astros lineup card. That takes a leadoff single away from Michael Bourne in the 1st inning. Matsui was on the lineup card to lead off, so he was declared out. Bourne was brought back to home plate. He batted again in the number 2 spot and drew a walk. But he lost a hit tonight. So Maka got an out for his club right out of the chute, but unfortunately for him, he still trails 5-1 as he goes to the bullpen with Seth McClung.
Big Seth on for the 15th time. Did a real nice job for the Brewers last year, working as both a starter and a reliever. Fastball, curve, slider change.
Backs off the rubber with Jeff Blum waiting to bat. 0 for 2 tonight. McClung's been on a nice run lately. Last pitched 1 inning Sunday at St. Louis. He has a 0.87 ERA over his last 9 appearances, covering 10 1/3 innings. Whoa, looks like Kendall was crossed up on that one, and he'll go right out and talk it over.
Yeah, he was looking for a fastball, and McClung threw him a slider.
He just came in the game. There's a runner at second. It's a long series of signs, and they weren't together on that. Meanwhile, Gallardo is on the bench after 93 pitches tonight. Could be the first time the Astros have handed him a loss. Strike to Blum makes it 1-1. Braves are pummeling the Rockies 12-1 at the end of 7 in Atlanta. They picked on Jorge De La Rosa for 7 earned runs in 3 2/3. Javier Vasquez out of the game after 5 shutout for Atlanta. Foul back, and it's 1-2. Yunel Escobar hit a 3-run shot. It's his 4th home run.
9-run 4th for the Braves tonight. Boy, if you had the Braves in the 4th in the office pool, you're looking pretty good.
Yeah, you are. This Brewer bullpen has a 3.58 ERA. That's second best in the National League. With an 8-4 record for Seth McClung and his cronies.
Well, McClung, a guy with very good stuff. You see that fastball clocked at 95 miles an hour. The challenge when you face him is you got to force him in the strike zone. He can be wild.
Seth, 27 years old, from Lewisburg, West Virginia. He comes in with Tejada, the runner at second, and nobody out. Strike 3 call on Blum. Jeff very unhappy with that call by Eric Cooper for out number 1.
This was a dart. It's over the plate. The question, was it down or not? Blum thought down. Cooper thought otherwise.
Pudge Rodriguez is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly ball to center. This Rodriguez combo has been quite something for the Astros, with Pudge catching Wandy. They work very well together. Ball 1. Pudge now is one of 28 players with 300 homers and a 300 or better career batting average. Inside, that one almost got him. 2-0 for McClung.
There are no small people from West Virginia. You notice that? Everybody from West Virginia is big, and Seth McClung is a big dude. Big country. My brother was a football player at Virginia Tech, I believe. Big athletic family. You got a guy that big, and he's throwing 95, and not quite sure where it's going. It's tough to dig in.
Yes, it is. 2-1. It's just been amazing to watch the growth of athletes over the years. You know, thinking back to NFL days, and some of those linebackers, the tough guys like Mike Curtis, Ray Nitschke, Dick Butkus. They would be dwarfed by today's players.
They'd be like they'd just come in on passing downs now. And well, you know, how about Jonathan Broxton?
Oh.
I mean, you never saw a pitcher look like that before.
No. No, you have to almost provide separate transportation for him. Chop to Bill Hall at third. Short hop play. Over to first, 2 outs. Tejada taking third base.
Everyone's looking for a great deal these days. The Astros have your ticket with our Price Matters Days presented by HEB. We've selected 10 games where you can score a ticket of dog, chips, and a soda for just $10. That's a ticket of dog, chips, and a soda. Step right up. That's an incredible deal. You can find it at Astros.com.
Doing your best carnival barker voice. That is a nice deal.
Hey, you want to see the bearded lady?
No, we want to see the left-hander with the 0.67 home ERA. because nobody has that, but Wandy Rodriguez does, and there's strike one to him.
I want to see the guy who rides his motorcycle around and around in that loop. Remember that guy?
Yeah. Defying gravity. 1 ball and 1 strike to Wandy Rodriguez. Well, since you were a pitcher, did you ever try to knock over those milk bottles?
Oh, it's a scam.
Yeah, it is.
I think I might have won a goldfish with a ping pong ball once or twice. Die by the time you get it home.
Bouncer through the right side. RBI single. Wandy Rodriguez, first hit of the year, scoring Tejada. And the Astros lead is 6-1.
Do it all, Wandy. Better watch him, Brewers. He might steal a base.
He was 0 for 19. Sixth Major League RBI for Wandy.
Is that his first left-handed at bat in a while?
Yeah.
And he's been batting right-handed?
Yeah.
He was just saving it for the big RBI opportunity.
12-1 to Matsui. Gallardo in 5 innings allowed 7 hits, 6 runs, walking 2 and fanning 3. And the Astros turned the tables on the Brewers from last night. Last night the Astros walked 5 Brewers, 3 of them scored. Tonight Gallardo walked 2 Astros, both of them scored.
And that's the one little point of this game that you can't forget about. It was the 2-out, nobody on walk by Lance Berkman. They got that 2-run inning started in the 3rd.
Wandy on base with a 5-run lead here in the 6th inning. Matsui swings, and it's 1-2. The Reds beat the Phillies 5-1 in Cincinnati. Aaron Harang with 7 strong innings, giving up 1 run. Rhodes and Cordero worked in relief. And Jamie Moyer pitched well, but will absorb the loss, giving up 3 earned runs in 6 innings.
Well, he's really been scuffling, so even though he took the loss, probably fairly pleased with that effort.
Yeah.
Astros will probably get big Aaron Harang then on Memorial Day, right?
Yep.
What's today, Wednesday?
Yes.
Memorial Day is Monday.
That's an afternoon game in Cincinnati. Reds are 20-19 with that loss. Strikeout looking for Matsui, and McClung ends the 6th inning with that K. But the Astros come up with 2 runs on 3 hits and leave a man. After 6 hits, 6-1 Houston. And by TxDOT, click it or ticket. High-rise buildings downtown, and here on the east side of downtown, things have gone very well for the home team so far. The Astros lead 6-1 after 6. They've out-hit the Brewers 8-5 with no errors in the game. Each club stranding 4. Wandy Rodriguez has set down 9 in a row after the Mike Cameron homer in the 4th. It'll be J.J. Hardy leading it off in the 7th inning. Hardy 0 for 2, a grounder to 3rd, and a warning track fly ball to right. And there's strike 1. Wandy had not given up a homer since August 10th of last year to Holbert Cabrera at Cincinnati until Cameron connected in the 4th inning. Now Hardy didn't get a full cut, and it's 0-2. Jorge Julio is warming up for the Brewers. Just trying to think of a sentence using his name with all H sounds or something like that. That would be a challenge. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Jorge Julio. Hurriedly.
Oh, that'd be a good one. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Hey, it's George Julio warming up for the Brewers.
Bounce third base. Jeff Plum with a throw across. Very good arm. It's 10 straight outs for Wandy Rodriguez.
Now, the amazing thing about Wandy is he throws so many breaking balls, but he almost never hangs it. I mean, his curveball never, it seems, gets hit hard. This date in Astros history is brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center. This date, 1978. J.O. Cruz, 4 hits, 6 RBIs. J.R. Richard throws his second consecutive shutout. It's a 13-0 whitewash of the Atlanta Braves.
Pretty decisive win. 1 out now, and it's Casey McGee. He doubled to left in the second. He's 1 for 2. That one sails up high for ball 1.
I would say that was a waste of resources to score 13 runs for J.R. Richard in 1978.
Yeah, it was.
1 or 2 probably enough to get the job done.
He was just such a dynamite pitcher. Struck fear in the hearts of especially right-handed batters. 2 balls, no strikes, a lot of whom found sudden ailments upon having to face him that day. 2 balls and a strike. Ryan Hannigan hit his first home run of the year for the Reds tonight in the losing cause. Raul Ibanez belted number 14 for the Phillies. The Reds won that game, 5-1.
So Ibanez, he's got to be the pickup of the year, the free agent acquisition of the year, doesn't he?
Yes.
Is there anybody else that's performed well? Derek Lowe's doing really well.
But yeah, he really comes to mind as a standout guy who was out there on the market. Pat Burrell leaving, and Ibanez has done every bit as well as Burrell had to this point last season, I would think. Certainly you would think better. Harang going to 4-4 with that win over Moyer. He's 3-4 for this season, and the Reds keep moving on in pretty good fashion. They've been a surprise team in this division for many.
Well, Edinson Volquez has got a back issue. He looks like he's likely to miss his start, and they've got this Joey Votto thing going on where he's undergoing a battery of tests because of dizziness.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any further information on that, but that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
He's hitting 366 and he's dizzy. That's just incredible what he's been able to do, and hopefully it's nothing serious.
Absolutely.
Thought he had the flu or something, but continues to linger.
Sounds like it might be some kind of an inner ear problem or something, but who knows. Ripped on a line, Carlos Lee in, but it's a hit in front of him. 10 straight had been retired by Wandy, and there's the single by McGee to give him a 2-for-3 night. Jason Kendall to bat next.
Well, Jason hits the ball on the ground a lot. Good double play opportunity here. See the breakdown on Wandy. Good ratio of strikes to ball, sitting right at 100 pitches now.
Mike Rivera's on deck with a pitcher's spot due up next. He's the right-handed hitter on the bench tonight. Ball 1 to Kendall.
Welcome back to David Ortiz. Hit his first home run of the year tonight, Big Papi.
What a drought.
Longest homerless drought ever to start a season for a slugger who had ever hit 50 home runs in a season.
Wow.
There's your random American League factoid of the night.
That's a pretty good one, because there had been a lot written about Big Papi. Paid attendance here tonight, 27,160. And of course, Terry Francona has sat him down for a while, but he's been very supportive. Big Papi's numbers are just horrendous. That might get him going. Strike, and it's 3-1, and through it all, the Red Sox are 2.5 behind Toronto before the game tonight.
This is the first time Wandy's had to work from the stretch since the 3rd inning after the leadoff single by Corey Hart. And maybe that's causing him to misfire a little bit, but now Brewers starting to make some noise.
Not only is that the first walk of this game, that's his first walk since May 3rd in Atlanta. He had pitched 21 innings since his last walk, at least 21. Now Dewey Robinson's out to the mound. He has warm-up action, a left-hander and a right-hander in the Astros bullpen right now. Alberto Arias, the right-hander, Tim Burdick, the lefty. Now Mike Rivera is announced as the pinch hitter for Seth McClung. McClung in 1 inning allowed 1 hit and no runs. He had no walks and he struck out 2. And Rivera, backup catcher who started last night and was 1 for 4, will be the pinch hitter. Arias and Burdak working. And Wandy might be able to get a double play ball right here and keep them out of the game until the 8th inning. Rivera has spent some time on the DL this year, so that's really cut into his playing time. He has only 20 at-bats with the Major League club. There's ball 1. Seven for 20. Good production when he has been in the lineup. And as a pinch hitter, he's 1 for 1. A lot of managers don't like to use their backup catcher to pinch hit, but in this case, he's the only right-handed batter on the bench. Fly ball right field. Hunter Pence backing, checking the wall at the track. And the runners hold on a long second out.
Yeah, Rivera, a pretty good jolt in this one. Just didn't quite get enough of it. Ball on the outer third. Gets under it a little bit. Yeah, so Ken Mock, I don't know who their emergency catcher would be. They must have someone they feel comfortable with in case Jason Kendall were to get hurt and have to come out of the game. Of course, Kendall's pretty much bulletproof.
Yeah.
He catches all the time and he plays through all kinds of pain.
Corey Hart is 1 for 3. Well, whoever that emergency guy is, got to be thinking about it a little bit right now. There's strike 1. It's got to be an extremely uncomfortable feeling to contemplate catching for the first time in the major leagues. Fouled away, no balls, 2 strikes. St. Louis leads the Cubs 2-0. Cardinals batting in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ryan Dempster pitching for Chicago.
It's Chris Carpenter tonight.
Oh yeah, nice return. Cardinals are only 3 games behind Milwaukee, as well as the Cubs 3 back. Michael Bourne in center handles it, and no runs, a hit, 2 men left. And a special thought tonight for a great gentleman, Arnie the Peanut Dude Murphy, who just passed away at age 61, who's belovedly known as Arnie the Peanut Dude, a talented vendor at Minute Maid Park, the Astrodome, and several other area venues. He began working with the Sunshine Kids Foundation. As the kids went alongside him, he tossed out those peanuts. He was so accurate and remembered everybody's change coming. Our condolences to Arnie's many friends and family members. Our game summary is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. The Astros had batting order confusion in the first. They submitted the wrong lineup card, and for batting out of order, Kazuo Matsui was ruled out in the first inning, but things have gone well. RBI double by Berkman, followed the Bourne walk in the first inning. Tejada 2 for 3, a double, a homer, 2 runs batted in. Mike Cameron responded with a solo homer in the 4th for Milwaukee. Hunter Pence with a 2-run triple in the 3rd. The Astros with a solid attack, good pitching, lead at 6-1 as they come up in the home 7th inning. Fans have had their stretch. They're settling back in with their checkerboard Bear Bryant hats and watching Jorge Julio.
Jorge Julio hurls heaters homeward.
You mastered it. Ball 1.
And hurls them homeward without a lot of direction so far this year.
Michael Bourne taps it to Prince Fielder. 1 out. Yeah, how many walks did
he had 9 walks in 11 2/3 innings. And because of that, an 8.34 exceeding 8.49 ERA. Well traveled, came up with Baltimore in 2001. Was a closer there. Pretty decent run. 25 saves in 02, 36 saves in 03, 22 more in 2004. He's Bounced around quite a bit since then with the Mets, the D-backs, the Rockies, the Fish. Both tribes, the Indians and the Braves.
Ball one to Lance Berkman. On our Firestone in-game box score, you may have noted Berkman with an RBI double and a walk and a run scored. Hit the ball pretty well, but the pitcher Gallardo cut it off in the 5th inning. And it's 2 balls, no strikes. So Lance has been solid tonight every time up. Julio misses there, and it's 3-0. Julio last pitched against the Cubs 11 days ago.
It's a pretty good movement on that heater.
One-on walk. Kendall out to the mound. Carlos Lee up to the batter's box. Julio signed last December as a free agent. Carlos Lee singled in the 3rd inning and scored. He's 1 for 3. There's strike 1 to Carlos. Astros 1-3 against the Brewers this season. The Astros are 8-16 against the NL Central clubs. 0-2. They beat Milwaukee 3-2 in the 3rd game of this series, with Milwaukee going for a sweep back in April. Tomorrow night, Roy Oswalt and Jeff Suppan square off. What could be the rubber game. That one bouncing. It goes up on the screen off the mid of Kendall. Berkman is wild pitch to second base, and the count is 1-2.
You think Bob Uecker just a bit outside?
He probably did.
Down there in the Brewers radio booth.
Yeah.
And a little bit short, too. The old 55-foot slider. That's a 0-2. I'm not going to get beat. I'm not going to hang it.
And Carlos started to bite, but then held up.
A much better 2-strike breaking ball there. That one showed in the strike zone a little bit before diving out. Carlos, tough guy to punch out, though. Should count on him to make contact. Two strikes, man in scoring position. He'll try to use his hands and quiet that lower body. Just hit a line drive somewhere.
He's averaging 1 strikeout for every 10 at bats. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Chris Carpenter went 5 shutout innings tonight, giving up 3 hits against the Cubs' Ryan Dempster. Backhanded. Hardy makes the play to fielder. 2 outs.
Fox Sports Houston is now on Facebook. Log on today and interact with other Astros fans and stay connected. Just log on to Facebook and search for Fox Sports Houston.
Hunter Pence has a 2-run triple to center in the 3rd inning. An infield hit in the 6th. Then he scored after that hit. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Astros. Trying to add to their lead here with Miguel Tejada on deck in the 7th inning. Hunter looks at ball 1. Hunter in the number 5 spot in the lineup tonight as part of the revised lineup for Cecil Cooper. And it's worked well, even with batting out of order.
Yeah, well, that's why a win becomes so important. That just takes the heat off.
Yes, it does.
That whole situation just diffuses it.
And of course, we'll find out later. The media will ask those questions about how that happened.
Well, you know, sometimes what you hear is that the manager will actually make out 2, sometimes 3 different lineup cards. He'll kind of write them down and play with them in his mind what he wants to do. And I'm saying that's what happened this instance.
The Astros didn't have the lineup posted early as normal in the clubhouse on the bulletin board because Coop wanted to talk to the players who were affected by the change in the order before he posted it. There's a walk to Hunter Pence. 2 men on, 2 outs now for Miguel Tejada.
Well, if that isn't a sign of the times of a manager having to tiptoe around the players in terms of having, it's not like he was benching somebody. He took one guy moving from 2 to 1, the other guy from 1 to 2, and flip-flop 5 and 6, and he felt compelled to have meetings. I mean, I understand it. Communication is great, but I think it's one thing if you're going to bench a guy or take a guy out of the 3-hole and hit him 9th or 8th or something like that. But
Miguel Tejada with a bouncer. Julio can't reach it. Fair-handed Hardy, and he gets Tejada. And in the 7th inning, no runs, no hits. A couple of men left on base. The Astros lead at 6-1. Fine. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Darren Erstad is the new left fielder for the Astros. He's batting in the 9 spot. Carlos Lee coming out of the game. Alberto Arias, the new pitcher, going into the 4 spot in the lineup. And with this 6-1 lead, he works the 8th inning. Foul back by Bill Hall. Strike 1. Hall 0 for 3. Nice effort by Wandy Rodriguez. 7 innings of 6-hit, 1-run baseball, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, it's what we've come to expect. You almost get blasé about it. He's been so consistent. Alberto Arias has been pretty darn good too. Just 8 appearances so far. He's worked 6 2/3 innings.
.110 pitches, 66 strikes for Wandy. Good sinking action there for Arias. He draws ahead in the count, 1-2. Bill Hall trying to reach for the first time. Arias was called up for the 2nd time on May 6th. He became the 13th pitcher. Then the Astros paired back to a 12-man staff. And he spins one up and strikes out Hall.
The hat trick for Billy Hall. 3 punch outs and a pop up to second base. And Arias gets him with a good breaking pitch. They've seen a lot of that tonight. On the left side, Wandy with that nasty hook, and now Arias drops pretty good hammer on him. Hard to come into a game with a 1.90 ERA and have it go down, but that's what happened with Wandy tonight. 1 earned run in 7 innings. His ERA now 1.83.
Ryan Braun's 1 for 3. Strike 1 at 94 from Arias. Arias is looking like a bigger and bigger piece to the puzzle in the later innings with all these bullpen injuries the Astros have had. With results like he's been getting, he has injected himself into that mix. 0-2.
Did you see the email from Steve O'Brien, the photographer, on the optical illusion?
No.
There's some contest somewhere, some science contest, and this one video was one of the winners, and it's of a curveball. And it talks about why it's so hard to hit the curveball, and it's really cool. It says the curveball breaks on a gradual arc, but the way a hitter sees it, it looks like a real sharp break.
Okay. Chop to the left side for Blum. Quick throw.
I wish I could find the link for it because it would have people go find it somewhere.
Yeah, that would be good.
So what happens is you see this ball tracking across your screen, and then there's a fixed point over here to the right, and you look at the fixed point, and all of a sudden the ball just goes, takes a huge break. But when you focus only on the ball, it hardly moves at all. It's a straight line. And that's what a hitter's doing, especially a hitter, I think, who's standing in there and doesn't, you think about Brad Hopp, the way he turns with his face with both eyes looking forward. And I wonder if a hitter like that has an advantage as opposed to a guy who closes up a little bit more.
Real good question. Prince Fielder 1 for 3. That'll be on the Fox Twitter page. very soon. Wade Robinson, our producer, will provide that for you if you want to check it out. The Brewers have collected 6 hits. Homer by Cameron, a double by McGee, the other singles. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Chris Sampson is pitching with an injured hip. The Astros think he'll be able to manage that injury, but it would not hurt at all for Arias to be a part of the options in the 7th and 8th innings to set up LaTroy Hawkins until they can get the other guys who are on the DL back. Jeff Geary. And we're not sure about Doug Brocail with a terrible hamstring injury he had, whether he'll be back or not. He's working to get back. And then, of course, Jose Valverde going for a second opinion now on his calf injury and making a trip to Miami for that opinion. So Arias could wind up being a pretty important figure in this Houston bullpen this year. Two and two. As he came to spring training, he was in the mix, but his father died in spring training. He had to go home and miss some valuable time. And then he got back, and with the numbers there, just did not get a whole lot of innings this spring. But looking sharp tonight. Striking outfielder. Having a 1-2-3 8th inning, maintaining a 6-1 Astros lead.
Time to cast your vote today to pick the top moment in Minute Maid Park history.
Jeff Blum at the plate. Jorge Julio throwing strike 1. The bottom of the 8th is underway. Blum is 0 for 3. Pudge Rodriguez on deck. Darren Erstad due to bat 3rd. Lefty Tim Burdack at work at the Astros bullpen as a right-hander throwing as well now. Could be Chris Sampson. Oh, it's Felipe Paulino. And he's just throwing a bullpen to get ready for his next start on Friday night against the Rangers. 2 balls, 1 strike. Paulino was held in reserve last night just in case he was needed in the late innings, but Friday night will be his next assignment against Vicente Padilla with the hot Texas Rangers coming to town. Detroit has cooled off the Rangers with wins first 2 games of that series. Bounce it to short. J.J. Hardy. 1 out. And it's Pudge Rodriguez 0 for 3.
Major League Baseball and People magazine are looking for individuals who have made a difference in their community. 30 everyday All-Stars will be honored at the 2009 All-Star Game in St. Louis. To nominate, go to peopleallstars.com.
Speaking of St. Louis, the home of the Sporting News, were you polled about the 50 greatest players in baseball today?
Oh, yeah, I did. I turned that in a while back.
Okay.
Have they released the results?
Yeah. 1 ball and 1 hop to McGee. 2 outs.
Was it 50? Because I think I just picked like 10 or 15.
Okay. Well, it says there was a panel of 100 Hall of Famers, major award winners, and other baseball personalities who picked the 50 greatest players in baseball today. So maybe you were involved in a different poll. Darren Erstad, the batter. 163 for Darren. No homers, 2 runs batted in. He's had 43 at bats. Came up last night and lined out to right field. He had a good at bat, but hit the ball in the wrong spot to get a hit. There's ball 1.
I think what they did was they pooled a bunch of people and asked them their top 10 or top 15.
Okay.
And from that grouping they came up, would be my guess.
Okay.
Because I can't imagine anybody sitting down and picking their top 50. That would take a lot. It took me a long time to come up with 10 or 15, whatever it was.
Yeah. Well, from the Astros notes tonight, apparently Lance Berkman was ranked number 21 in the 50 greatest players in baseball today, and Roy Oswalt number 46. Number 1, Albert Pujols. 3 balls, no strikes.
I had both those guys in my top, whatever I did, 15 or 20. Lance and Roy, I believe. Trying to remember. I probably had Albert number 1.
Well, tomorrow you're going to be asked to discuss that on Astros Live. 2
I am?
Darren Erstad.
Okay.
So you mean you haven't been told this yet? You want to do a lot of preparation for the show tomorrow night.
Well, I'll bring some insight. Brownie say interesting things like he's really good. And oh yeah, he's a good one. You're right there, Kevin.
Certainly on my list.
Yeah, I like him. I'd take that Zach Greinke in my club any day.
Kazuo Matsui has a double tonight in 4 trips. Actually 3. Strike 1, but he was called out. And the Astros had the wrong batting order at the beginning of the game. So Matsui's made the most of the evening. And it snowballs 2 strikes. Well, it worked out for Tampa Bay just a few days ago when the wrong lineup card was submitted and they lost to Evan Longoria, but they won that game.
Yeah, the pitcher had to hit and he had an RBI double.
Yeah,
Andy Sonnenstein.
Yep. 1 and 2. Mets and Dodgers underway. 1-0 Dodgers, bottom of the first inning against Livan Hernandez. Jeff Weaver is on the mound for the Dodgers. You just keep on winning.
Their best start since 1983. And consider the plight of the Washington Nationals. Coming in tonight, they had lost 6 consecutive games. They're the first team in history to lose 6 in a row while scoring at least 5 runs in every one of those games.
Oh,
so tonight they get some pitching and they lose 2-1.
All the way, 1-2 still.
It's the anatomy of a bad season there, boy.
Yeah.
And they kind of turned things around a little bit after that real ugly start.
Yes.
Now just what they've lost 9 out of 10. They're 11-28 now.
They're playing at a it was 289 winning percentage before that loss.
Still like their lineup.
It's a good lineup. It makes a pitcher work.
See, in there, I saw some trade rumors now with Carlos Delgado on the show for the Mets for a couple of months, and so Nick Johnson. We talked about maybe Nick Johnson would be a guy they'd take a run at.
Yeah, Omar Minaya, the Mets GM, said, "Well, we've got Delgado next year, so we don't want a guy who's going to be around after this year." So they would take a guy who's headed for free agency. Bounce to second base. McGee with a throw, and he barely nips Matsui. No runs, no hits, a runner stranded. Moving to the 9th, it's 6-1 Astros. Group and by Budweiser. 6-1 the Astros lead. Another enjoyable night here at the ballpark. Perfect weather. Alberto Arias throws ball 1 to Mike Cameron leading off the 9th inning. Cameron homered for the Brewers run in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 3. Into left field. Jeff Blum looked like he slipped a little bit as he headed left, and Cameron now is 2 for 4 as he leads off the 9th with a single.
You see Jeff up on the balls of his feet, ready to react. Ball too sharply hit.
Yeah. Now Cameron on. J.J. Hardy to bat. He's 0 for 3. Phil Hughes and the Yankees down Baltimore 11-4, beating Jeremy Guthrie. Mariano Rivera getting save number 8. Strike, and Hardy looks at an 0-1 count. Casey McGee is on deck. Chris Sampson warming up now for Houston. LaTroy Hawkins said tonight before the game he's feeling much better and ready to go with that hip injury. A thing of the past. Little tap. Blum barehanding. Can't pick it up. First and second, nobody out here as the Brewers stir up trouble. Neither ball particularly scorched, but the first one was hit pretty well. Now it's McGee coming up.
Yeah, just a bit of bad fortune there for Alberto. The little tapper. Just got a 5-run lead here. Don't panic with a couple of base runners. Just stick to your game plan. Keep throwing that sinker down around the knees.
Jason McGee double to left in the 2nd, single to left in the 7th. Jason Kendall's on deck. Then the pitcher's spot would come up. Ball 1 outside. Roberto Arias, 25 years old, from the Dominican, was signed as a free agent by the Rockies in 01. The Astros claimed him on waivers last July 31st. And this could be his real breakout year as a major leaguer. He was in only 15 games last year and 6 the year before in the major leagues. It's 2-0.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was talking about at the start of this at bat. You've got a couple guys on here, and you're in the 9th inning, and you got a 5-run lead. So, you're in pretty good shape, but don't get too defensive. Don't think about, boy, I got to start really picking here because I got a runner out there at second base. You got to stay aggressive here and just throw some good quality strikes, keep the ball down, and you're going to be okay. If you start to walk people, and that's when you get in trouble. Not only walks, but then pitching in hitters counts. Follow the Astros on your iPhone and iPod Touch with MLB.com at Bat 2009. It features play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. You can find it on your iPhone or iPod Touch, and you can also find it at Astros.com.
6-1 game, 2-man on, nobody out in the 9th inning, and a 2-0 count on Casey McGee. Now 3 balls, no strikes. Pirates picked on that hapless bullpen of the Nationals for their 2-1 win with a run in the 9th. They scored on a wild pitch from Joel Hanrahan, the loser. 3 balls and a strike. John Grabo got the win. Matt Capps save number 8 of the year. Pirates and Astros neck and neck in the standings coming into this game tonight, separated by percentage points. Now a walk loads the bases and will prompt a pitching change, we would have to presume at this point. Jason Kendall coming up next. Bud Rodriguez out in front of the dish, looking over toward the Astros dugout, and now that has bought some time. Cecil Cooper will make the trip to the mound to make that change. 6-1 Houston, top of the 9th. Bases loaded, nobody out. Back in a moment. Is out in the on-deck circle. Jason Kendall will be the next batter. Chris Sampson comes in. He just got his first major league save on Sunday in Chicago, and now he'll get a shot at another one because it is a 5-run lead, but the potential tying run would be in the on-deck circle as he takes over here. Jim.
That's right. Bases loaded. That's 3, hitter 4, and the on-deck hitter 5. So a save opportunity, even though there's a 5-run lead. And his mission the same as Arias. Just good quality low strikes, keep the ball in the ballpark, and you're in pretty good shape. You got that save in Chicago, worked an inning in 2/3. LaTroy was not available. Hip was barking. Chris allowed 4 hits, 2 runs. Alfonso Soriano home run, but was able to hang in there and finish that game to pick up his first major league save.
That one wound up 6-5. Now Jason Kendall 4 for 7 with a homer off Sampson. Comes up with the bases loaded, nobody out. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Sampson delivers, strike 1. Chris talked about the emotions of pitching in the 9th inning in that game Sunday at Chicago. He actually came in with 2 men on in the 8th inning in a 6-3 lead and got a 5-out save. That's pretty rare in the major leagues these days.
Well, there's a pretty good chance he doesn't even know this is a save situation.
That's true.
I mean, not that it would affect his approach.
Well, Troy Hawkins has started to warm up. Constant movement of the fingers. 1-2 for Kendall. Kendall will usually make the pitcher throw strikes.
Willie Stargell used to pump that bat. Joe Morgan had the chicken flap thing going on. Jason Kendall's playing the flute.
Sampson knocks it down, throws home, gets the force play. Pudge nimbly getting out of the way of the sliding Cameron. 1 out. He looked like a middle infielder avoiding contact on that one.
Line drive that Chris gets leather on but can't catch, knocks it down and scrambles to make that throw homeward.
Cameron's already put one Houston catcher out of commission this year. Now it's Matt Gamble pinch hitting. Bases loaded, one out for Gamble. And line drive right field. In for a hit that'll score at least two. Hardy and McGee. And make it a 6-3 game on a 2-run pinch double by Matt Gamble. The rookie who just came up a few days ago and hit his first major league homer in St. Louis delivers off the bench.
Now 6-3 ball game with 2 runners in scoring position. Boy, he's got a good looking swing. Maybe their best prospect. Good looking young hitter. Well, Troy Hawkins should be ready in the Astros pen.
Now, Corey Hart represents the potential tying run in this game. He's 1 for 4. Ground ball, Tejada with a runner coming home. And he throws to Berkman. Third run of the inning scoring to make it 6-4. It's out number 2. Hart getting RBI number 17. Now Bill Hall bats. The lead down to 2 runs. Hall is 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts.
Now obviously this is the guy you want to get with Ryan Braun on deck. One of the best hitters in the game.
Strike to Hall. Brewers were 8-7 against the Astros last year. They're 3-1 against them so far this season. All games here at Minute Maid Park. Strike, and it's 0-2.
And Billy Hall argued, hey, they can't both be strikes, can they? Well, Chris didn't know this was a safe situation coming in when he came out of that pen. It sure feels like one now.
$27,160 to pay at attendance. Fans have really enjoyed the evening. Swing and a miss, and Sampson gets another save. And the Astros send it to a rubber game in this series tomorrow night. Sampson nails it down for Wandy Rodriguez. It goes to 5-2. The Astros beat Gallardo for the first time. He's 4-2. And that's a well-placed breaking ball for the final out, JD.
Yeah, Billy Hall, who had already punched out 3 times. You got a hitter like that, he's going to expand.